Yo, welcome to the open pit. I'm your man, Mr. C, with the most. Getting ready to take y'all around the coast. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What up,
Good,
though?
good.
What
Good
up?
man, good.
We had Dre running a little late, old man running a little late today. You know what I mean? I had to say something. He heard me talk about him.
Hey, yep.
You know?
Age has its privileges, though.
I know that's
Uh-oh.
right. I know that's right.
Uh-oh. Is that T
Hey, before I
Money?
even get, before I
Yes,
even get,
the one and only.
Are we speaking to him this week, Mr. C? Or are we giving him love this
I,
week?
I, I was about to, I, I was about to get into that because you know what? I don't even want to talk and
It's
see
it's
a
Cowboy
Cowboys fan
Niner
this
week.
whole week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
East West Coast battle. This
yes, sir.
Archie Bunker against George Jefferson this week right now. You know what I mean? We ain't got.
There you go. That's
Uh-oh.
right. That's right. This Archie
You
is
know, man.
George. This week.
Hey, and we gotta wait
Hatfield
all day
McCoy.
Sunday. We gotta wait all
Ooh.
day Sunday.
It's the
That's
worst
gonna be a
way to go to
long
sleep at
day.
night.
Yeah, this is gonna be, and we coming in, we hobbling in like we limping in.
If there's a chance to beat y'all, it's Sunday, but
Yeah, if y'all
they
don't get
they,
us
they just
Sunday, then
they're not gonna be able to stop Jordan Mason. So that's
Well,
that.
yeah,
he
but
got.
we ain't got no passing game right now though. Well, yeah, we
Don't
do.
matter. Purdy still look like a two-time MVP.
Yeah, I hope he gonna look better than he looked Sunday. 'Cause he was giving away treats 2 weeks before Halloween.
Chiefs got a
Hey,
good
the,
defense though.
the way he looked last Sunday, he don't deserve no 50, $60 million. I think he need to do us
No.
a favor, get and take $30 million and keep it pushing
Yeah,
because he's throwing in the triple coverage, this and that, man. It's
yeah.
uncalled
He
for, man.
he looking like a little more mobile Jimmy G right now to me.
Mm.
You know. I'm gonna give him a
Man,
break
little Jimmy
because he
G, little,
all his weapons was gone, but no Rod Dog over there quiet because he ain't got no complaints on his end.
Hey, we're the bully on the block now.
soon as y'all hook up Max Crosby to replace Hutchinson, it's gonna really be
Oh, hey
on.
man, Nest, as I say, Nest man up. So we got something underneath our sleeve though. We're working on some things.
look,
But right
let
now,
me
I
Y'all
think
look
we
good.
comfortable though.
You look good, so I can't hate
let
till
me say this. I was gonna come on and say Rod Dog, Detroit's the best team in the NFC, but then
That's too
I've
early,
been,
man.
yeah, I
That's
know.
too
I'm
early.
looking at stats. Green Bay ain't nobody sleep on right now. Minnesota, y'all took care of Minnesota, but Green Bay, they doing it with no name receivers, man. Look,
Right.
Jordan Love is out there balling.
yes he is.
Every week it's a new receiver that's getting touchdowns.
Absolutely.
So
That division may be the best in football. I mean, you got three
Oh yeah.
solid
Three's
teams.
coming out of that division for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean,
yeah, the only team
So
gonna be
that's
left
why
out be
for everybody
Chicago.
else, you gotta win the division.
Yeah,
yeah. That division, you may get three out of it because they all potent. And the scary thing
Yeah.
is they're all young, really, except for I mean, Darnold is probably the oldest quarterback.
Hmm.
Well, Goff is
Golf
probably
is, I
older
think. Yeah.
than Darnold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
But he what 31 or something? He ain't old.
True.
Yep. It's gonna be good.
so you got four division leaders, and you say two teams from the NFC North, and then maybe somebody from the NFC East might get in, or the NFC South between Tampa Bay and the Falcons, pretty much. You know, man, it's how we're looking at it. You know, so um, let's jump into it. Let's talk about this free agency, man. We had a couple wide receivers get signed and get traded this week. Um, Coming first, we had DeAndre Hopkins got signed with the Chiefs yesterday, so the rich get richer. You know what I mean?
Rich get rich.
Yeah, Amari Cooper going to the Bills, Devontae Adams going to the Jets. I'm gonna pick it up with Devontae going to the Jets because stat wise, the quarterback stats from last year and this year after 6 games is still the same thing. It ain't the offense. I mean, it ain't the defense fault. It's the offense. That's what it sounds like. The offense ain't producing, but then the offensive line ain't producing. So
Right.
I'm gonna pass you the T Money. What you think about that, man? You think it's the quarterback problem? What's going on with the Jets, man?
It's an offensive line problem. I mean, it really is. Dallas had Tyron Smith for all those years on that left tackle position, and we resigned him a few times more than what he needed to be resigned, and we let him walk out the door. And it is clear, man, he is just, Father Time is never been defeated, and he looks slow on that edge. And he can't pick up the block even if they send a stunt. He don't know. It's just like that left side is dangerous. And if Aaron Rodgers don't have time, he can't run like he used to. And you also know he's second guessing trying to run after he had that injury, so he's really trying to stay back in that pocket and throw the ball. So if he ain't got the time to, hit those wide open players, they say the pass might be off a little bit, but look at the line. If he ain't got a clean pocket or he can roll out like he used to, it's a long day for the Jets, man. So they got to tighten up on that front line and keep running the ball. Then you're gonna open up stuff for Devontae for sure because Garrett Wilson is a heck of a receiver. He can run great routes. So and Lazard, he just got to catch the ball. He figured that out. I mean, they got a good squad. I mean, but they got their offensive line has to be better. That's my take.
Gotcha. Rod Dog, what you got, my man?
I agree with T Money, man. That line has been patched together. I would have liked for them to have brought in two offensive linemen instead of all pro receiver. The relationship Adams and Rogers have goes back to the Packers. And so I see that connection. But still, I still believe, if they're not winning those battles up front, they're still going to come across that same problem, not producing enough points. And so, right now the ball's in Aaron Rodgers' corner. Got the head coach fired. You bring in all pro receiver that you connected with at Green Bay. I wonder what the locker room is like right now. My understanding was that the defense were more in favor of keeping the head coach, but it was more of an Aaron Rodgers situation that got that head coach fired. So let's see how things work out because right now, to me, Aaron's still a good quarterback in this league, but and when you start getting at that age, man, a lot of teams starting to look at you or you washed up,
Yeah.
So let's see what happens in the next couple of games now that Devontae is there. If they produce any more points than they have done in the past.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers making more excuses than the man smoking in the gas pump. Why they keep losing? Dre for the Bay. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Wow, Rod Dog kind of he hit all my points really. I mean, his first point about would they have been wiser getting some linemen, and I agree. I mean, you already have a number one receiver in Garrett Wilson, number one. So is that really your issue if you don't have time to throw the football?
Right.
Two, Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old coming off an Achilles injury. Is he still the same guy? And is he slightly overrated anyway? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a Hall of Famer. But last I checked, he got the same number of rings as Joe Flacco, as Trent Dilfer. He's got one ring, and he's lost a lot of big games. He's lost, the 49ers have knocked him out. Kaepernick is 2-0 against him. Purdy's
in Green Bay.
Huh?
Green Bay.
In Green Bay. The second one. And he lost to Purdy. No, that was Love. But he's lost to Timmy G. So he, and again to that what Rod Dog's talking about, that locker room, man. I'm not gonna get into his political leanings, but You got he's come out. He's a guy to me. I'm gonna be honest. He went from a guy that I really liked to a guy that I can't wait to see him lose because he's turned into kind of a jerk in my opinion. The whole COVID thing where I ain't got to get vaccinated. All that kind of stuff, man. I'm just not feeling him right now. So, and on top of it, the whole Salah thing. Now, some people say he had, it was because he had the flag, Palestinian, was it the Palestinian flag on his shirt or something, on his hat?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said, because that's his heritage.
Yeah,
his roots, and I guess he had the flag on, and it, the internet rumors that that's what got him fired is his that flag on there. But I agree with both T Money and Rod Dog. That line, the offensive line is key. I'm not even going, because we're not talking about these boys here right now, but that's a problem with them. Is that offensive line, and as he talking about Tyron
Smith.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith, I'm looking at the same way with my brother on my left tackle that held out all off season, that came in out of overweight, out of shape, and been getting bounced around this whole first half of the season, in my opinion. But that's another story. But yeah, that's where I'm at on that Jets situation.
And the crazy part is Salah signed with Green Bay the other day as a defensive consultant.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, him and LaFleur are boys. I think they were on the
That's
same
right.
coaching staff.
Right.
Yeah, they was on the Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All
on the
over
Shanahan.
That's right.
With
That's
the,
right.
Yeah.
with the Redskins, probably, or
Yeah. They all. Yeah.
they all, him, McVay, all them guys,
All
are
that coaching
boys.
tree. I think they was all in Washington at one
They were
point.
all in Washington under Daddy Shanahan,
Yeah,
and then they just branched off, and that was a good little
that's
tree.
a good tree. Yeah.
I wish he could have came. I wish he could have came home, but
I would have loved. I would have loved to bring him back to the Bay for that defense, But
yeah. Then Amari Cooper signing with Buffalo, man. I think that's a big move for Buffalo.
That's the
man,
best one to me.
That's a power move, because I want Amari Cooper in the Bay.
exactly.
But,
and Ayuk was holding out, and they were
right.
floating that trade. I was like, I'll help Ayuk pack to go to Amari Cooper.
Pick him up and drop to that point.
I'll drive him to Cleveland.
Everything. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Amari Cooper? I'm gonna keep with you, Dre. What you got?
I like it. I mean, Amari Cooper's a solid receiver. They've got a speed guy in Shakur,
And Coleman.
and Coleman, the young, and Coleman, Cook is an all-purpose back, man. And then you got, Josh Allen. The key with him is dumb mistakes. If he doesn't throw stupid interceptions,
0.
right? He's a beast. I mean, because you can't, running wise, he's that perfect combination. He can run, he can throw deep, and now you give him a solid veteran like Cooper, who catches everything, runs great. He's probably one of the best route runners in football, and you put that together with what they already have. I think that's somebody just said it. That's a power move, and I agree with that.
And Dre, I'm glad you said that. No turnover. Guess what? He has 0 turnovers.
0.
What? He has no
That's
picks?
why I said 0. Yeah, 0 in
Wow.
12-0.
0.
There it is.
He was forcing
that's
issue in the past.
That's been his issue, right?
Yeah.
He'll be rolling down the field, and all of a sudden you're like, who was you throwing to? And if he's not doing that, he's MVP candidate,
Yeah.
based on without turnovers. He's a beast. Yeah.
Rod, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Oh man, it's already paying off. I think his first game, I saw caught a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you already see right now where the Bills are trying to do. Right, they're trying to gear up to make that run against either the Ravens or the Chiefs. Right, for that divisional
That's their nemesis. Yep.
championship. I don't see nobody in that division catching them. I mean, everyone in that division has a losing record. So
Yeah.
I just see the Bills, man, getting a little bit more veterans behind the receiving core and getting ready for that run when they get to the playoffs.
Bad T Money.
Look, man, I am a Amari Cooper fan. Going back to his days at Alabama, the dude just can get open, and the one thing you like, even if you're not speed, find some type of separation to get a first down. That's your guy. And it's crazy. I was thinking about like, who does he remind me of? And there's one wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald. I know it sounds crazy, but if you just think about his career, how he got open, how he just can run around and just beat that defender. Cooper is going to help that entire receiving core because Coleman's going to get his. Shakir now can go back to that slot 100% and run some good routes on the inside. So, in their offensive line, I mean, they run so many different types of plays. They don't have to block for so long period of time. The ball is coming out. So, and that also is what can help a bad offensive line get the ball out quicker. If you know your line is bad, go ahead and get the ball out 2-3 seconds. Figure out if you're gonna run it, scramble, throw the ball. So I think this is the best receiver trade because I think it's just gonna pan out in the long run. And health wise too, he plays through some injuries. So if he's hurt and he can go, he's gonna play.
Yeah, and he don't demand the ball a lot. He go out there handling his business. He'll block. If he get 4 or 5 catches, he good.
He get 4 or 5
Right.
catches, right?
He's a professional, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I'm gonna ask, do we need to talk about the Hopkins going to the Chiefs? Or y'all want to move on from that? I don't. I'm just.
Hey, man. They like said earlier, the better gets better. It's a position where you saw Juju got hurt. You see, you're not getting back Rice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Worthy is still trying to catch up, and now you're seeing the tight end Noah Gray getting more receptions than Travis Kelce. So they needed somebody, and D Hop just got hands, man. So they're figured out. They're figured out. I mean, Mahomes ain't looking all that great, but listen, when it's all said and done, they know when to turn it on. So that's why, like, we ain't even gotta.
Yeah, man. And they got Kareem Hunt back. He got 22 carries.
Forgot about him.
Man,
You're right.
He was looking like Emmitt Smith against us, man. I'm like, God dang, man. What the? I was like, this brother was playing in the flag league 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden now he's killing us.
I think it's the Andy Reid mentality. It sounds crazy, guys, but I mean, just think of Mecole Hardman.
Right.
Went to the Jets. I mean, terrible. Yeah. Couldn't get the ball. They trade him to come back. He catches the Super Bowl touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And still, he don't have a big role this year, but he still is out there on the field running routes. So the Chiefs are the Chiefs, man.
Winning
against us. Yeah.
Winning mentality, is contagious. It carries. I mean, it's like, guys can go, and there's something about, now it may say something about your character that you don't really play well on a bad team, but it's human nature. If you're not winning, that's why right now I'd be on the phone with the Browns. I'm trying to raid them because they got, I mean, this team, what didn't they win like 12 games last year? 11, 12 games?
And they got 11.
Yeah, and now they garbage. And so you got talent, but when you in an atmosphere of losing, People don't want to know. It's like the hamstring stays tight another extra week.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. My brain still feel cloudy from the concussion type of thing. But when you're on a winning team, oh yeah, I can go. Put me in. And so yeah, so
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna give y'all some stats with that. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it with the 49ers Chiefs. Get out the way, man. We lost 28-18, man. Mahomes 16 to 27, 154 yards passing, two interceptions. With them stats by itself, you think we won the game.
oh yeah,
But
we blew them
we
out.
we, we go to Purdy 17 to 31, 212, three interceptions. You got Kittle, six receptions, 92 yards. Debo goes out the first series. Brandon Ayuk tears his knee up. Mason had 14 carries, 58 yards. Like I said, Kareem Hunt had 22 carries, 78 yards, two touchdowns. Look, man, I hate to say it, man. Look, Kansas City just own us, man. They own us. I don't know if it's Kansas City or if it's Andy Reid. I don't even want to play them no more. You know what I mean?
No.
It got to the
Mm.
point I don't even want to see them no more. You know what I mean? Right now, we play them at home. We can give them their first loss. They struggling. Their offense ain't putting no points. And guess what? We let goose egg, man. All right. Rod Dog, I'm gonna give it to you, man. What's your
Be,
thoughts on
be
it?
be gentle. Be gentle.
Man, that game actually that game was a close game.
It was.
Mahomes made a lot of plays with his feet. He was having a bad day, right? He threw two picks, no touchdowns thrown. Um, I think the difference was in the red zone. I think the Chiefs were able to hold the 49ers to field goals instead of touchdowns. That might have been
That
a difference
defense.
maker going towards the end of the game. But it really was a good game. It was a defensive game. So when two teams like that are playing, man, it's gonna be a close game. Maybe a turnover or two will cause the outcome of the game. But tip your hat off to the Chiefs defense. I mean, they came and made some critical stops. But yeah, 49ers, you gotta get those points when you're playing the Chiefs, man. Field goals do you no good, especially with Mahomes. They can always within striking distance. That's what I want to say. If you give Mahomes the ball the last series of the game, he's gonna make you pay. And he just done it so many times. You need to get out in front of that team and stay out front. No lead is a safe lead against the Chiefs, especially in the closing minutes. But yeah, the game could have went either or. 49ers didn't do as bad. I don't think it was a blowout. It was a close game, and the final, I would say the game was won because of a few turnovers that they might have committed, and kicking field goals might have cost them the game too.
Don't forget the penalties, man. We got in
Yeah,
the red zone. We got holdings, called us back.
Yep.
They got in the red zone. They got penalties. Guess what? They capitalized. They scored. You know what I mean? The next play, they get 20 yards. They was down. Man, it's just Mahomes. It's the Mahomes factor and the Andy Reid factor. But I'm gonna give it to you, T Money, man.
Listen, man. When we started talking about teams, we thought was going to go to where they need to go to be on top. And I said at the beginning, until somebody can show me, it don't matter what you put out in front. You can have your best game plan, but when it comes to, like you said, that Mahomes factor, when it counts the most, if he ain't doing good during the game, he's going to use those legs. He's going to roll out, get you that 15. And it's always crazy. It's like third and like 19, third and 17, because they got a holding call and got to go back. And he'll scramble and go 20 yards and get you the first down. Those are killers because you've already set them back. So now you're giving him another opportunity to go 4 more downs. And you start running with a Kareem Hunt in the red zone, empowering, and physicality on the line is going to be that. So I just think it was a game of chess because, like you said, defensively it was just like going back and forth. I just think that when it came to the play calling for Purdy, he just wasn't making the best decisions when he had the ball. And you got to score points and 3 turnovers that it'll cost you. So yeah, like you said, you would think with Mahomes' numbers, you definitely would have won that game. But your quarterback had another interception over Mahomes with no touchdowns. So I mean, just a bad week, like you said, and it's the Chiefs. But trust and believe, you all will have some relief come Sunday night. I guarantee you. Don't worry about it.
Well,
You get
you
back.
can't
You
guarantee.
you you, you get back on the
Well,
winning block. Don't worry about it. Sleep it off. It'll be good. Don't worry about it.
That's good for the video. I know what you're trying to do, but
I know, yeah,
it
yeah.
ain't,
You
it
trying?
ain't nothing guaranteed, man. But look, add something else to Mahomes' resume. He's run over safeties now in
Oh
the end
yeah,
zone. He
he
ran
stood
over
him up.
Mustafa like
He
Mustafa
did.
was.
And Mustafa was laying folks
Yeah,
out all
man.
game.
Dre
All right, put me on the
out
clock,
of Wake
man,
Forest.
because put me on the
Hey, put
clock,
him
Go
on
ahead,
full
man. Go
screen.
ahead.
Maybe we need to come off the camera for a second.
because I got a whole. I've been writing stuff down. So this was why I was upset about that Super Bowl loss, is because and some pundit said it earlier, but before the season started, about the 49ers. We have, the last 3-4 years, we have avoided technically really major injury, and when we had it, we got basically lucky when we lost Trey Lance, and then Jimmy G. Purdy came out of nowhere, and we didn't suffer from that major injury to quarterback. But now them injury guys have come back in a vengeance. You look at last week, you have the offensive player of the year ain't had a snap. So yes, I'm trying to look at the glass half full thing. We played the Chiefs tough without Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk. That's that's your top 4 offensive players, bar none. One of them is arguably the best offensive player in the NFL. Based upon him winning that title, he is until unseated. My issue is our offensive line. I thought we should have up. I like Pooney, but you know, Trent's holdout. That's fine when you young buck, you can hold out all off season and show up and steal ball. He ain't. He's an older player now, and I'm looking at his midsection, and I'm just looking at him. He don't look in shape, and he hasn't played well. He's not the dominant. Yeah, there'll be some plays where he's dominant Trent, but he's not the consistent dominant Trent, which is affecting Purdy. I'm looking at Purdy, and just like you said, Mr. C, I don't know if I'm ready to open up the Brinks truck for him next year. I'm seriously considering using a draft pick on a quarterback, because what's his ceiling? I'm looking at his arm, and he had 2 touchdowns that all he had to do was lead these guys, and they waiting like a fair catch for this ball to come down. And see, when you throw like that, now it's gonna be hard. You're not getting free agent receivers to come there when you can't get them the football. And so his 2 of his interceptions were in field goal range. So throw away the throwaway touchdown at the end that the Chiefs got. Before that was a 9-point game. And so they had a field goal opportunity that he threw an interception on. And he might have thrown that when it was a 6-point game. And then he threw another one in the red zone when you in field goal range. And so, those were critical, and none of his interceptions were good throws. None of them were great defensive plays. They were just like, here you go. So I don't know. T Money's trying to soup us up and get us all, falling for the banana in the tailpipe. But I don't know, man. I don't, because I don't like what I see. And I just don't like what I see with this team right now. The defense actually, that was one of their better games.
Absolutely.
Last week, because you know you hold Mahomes to 150 something yards, you've done your job. That's a game you're supposed to win. Now you gave up a 35-yard run down the sidelines to him, and you let him run over your safety, but you should have been able to overcome that. And and so I don't know if we do we get Jennings back, because depends on who we get back this week against because this is the Cowboys. This is a game they got circled because we whooped that. Yeah. we last year on a prime time, I think it was a Sunday night game too.
Yes,
they got waxed.
Yeah.
I remember because I was flying back from San Francisco when that game, and I'm like, whoa, I got off the plane and it was like, dang, but that's the score. I mean, so the Cowboys are going to be motivated, and that division they're in is wide open, to be honest. Nobody's going to run away with it because the Eagles is, they looked good the other day, but that was against the Giants. So that's my soapbox. I'm not happy with the line at all. And these injuries, there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm hoping for Ricky P to kind of step up, and hopefully we get Jennings back. I don't know about Debo. He's got like pneumonia, so I don't know if he's gonna play. And Ayuk is out, so he's done for the year. So
what's the latest on Kittle?
Kittle,
I know he's day to day.
Yeah, I think they just do that. Yeah.
Okay. But Cohen and Purcell need to step the game up. But Debo,
Cohen got the wheels. He's a 4-3 dude. But 4-3 don't mean nothing if you gotta wait for the ball to get there.
To get to you.
That's the thing.
I don't know. It has something to do with that elbow surgery, but his arm is looking.
You know what? I was just about to ask that about.
I was thinking that
UCL.
Yeah, he had basically Tommy John injury. He didn't have the surgery. He had something. See, and that's the other thing. He didn't want to do the full Tommy John. He did an alternative to that, and
for a quicker return.
And maybe these guys come back from Tommy John now, still throwing 95. And so maybe he should have got the missed last year, but we went to the Super Bowl, so I mean you can't look back on it and regret it. But maybe you make a good point. Does that? I think it did affect it because I thought his arm was a little stronger than it is. It hasn't looked good he hasn't looked good all season. Even his big games. I mean, that one game, Jawan Jennings was just punking everybody for 200 yards, and so has he really looked good? But he hasn't had, he's had Ayuk playing half speed, coming up, hold out, dropping passes, so we'll see, man. This team notoriously starts slow anyway.
We were 3-4 last year, so
exactly.
But I think it's do or die for us right here, man. If we lose to the Cowboys on Sunday night, that window is really gonna close up on us fast. We got a bye week next week, but woo, I got my fatigues on. I'm in war.
I see you in war mode. That's what I'm talking about.
But it's more. Look, if Kurt Murray was on the show, he'd be smiling right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think the Baltimore Ravens is hell. Hey, they're a team to beat, man. Look, you got Lamar Jackson going 17 to 22, 281, 5 touchdowns.
5 tutties.
You got Henry, 15 carries, 169 yards. Man, look, man. It ain't no weakness. They looking great right now, man. They
2 solid tight ends.
They lost Evans. They lost Evans and they lost Godwin. Godwin's out for the season. Evans got a hamstring. So
Ooh.
And the Bucks got to play Atlanta coming up this week, so that's going to be Atlanta might take the sweep. But I'm gonna pass the mic to you, Rod Dog. What's your thoughts on that Ravens Buccaneers game last week?
You know, the game started off. It was like the Bucks were coming out hot. You know, they go down the field, score. But when Evans went out, it seemed like their whole game plan went out the window. And I do believe had Evans not pulled that hamstring with the matchup that they had, I think they would have been able to capitalize on a few more plays. I mean, with Ravens, what was going on with the Henry running and Lamar running, and they're playing solid defense, man, they're hard to stop. But, you know, that just shows, man, you know, when Lamar's having a good game, the whole offense is clicking, man. That running game is going, he's passing. I mean, they're hard to beat. And, you know, we already know he's a double threat with his legs. But I was surprised that Henry was going to be able to run the ball so well, because I was like, when Tampa know they got to stop the run, but they were unable to stop that run, man. It was a long night. Actually, the game looked close on the scoreboard, but, you know, they scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter when the game was out of reach. So it really was a blowout. It was a blowout. But I want to see when, you know, they still got the Steelers to play in Cincinnati. So, you know, those are rivalries. And Cleveland. So, you know, that's a tough division also within that division. Those teams are always splitting games. But right now, I think the Ravens, after they're going 0-3, I think they're the hottest team in the AFC right now.
Yeah. And the crazy part, I heard something I don't know if it was on First Take or if it was on this other show. The Ravens got the best defense for the first 3 quarters, but they got the worst defense for the fourth quarter. I think they give up like 75 points within 3 quarters. Then that fourth quarter, they give up like 85 points. So it was a stat that, to that point, they had more points getting up in the fourth quarter than they get up in the whole first 3 quarters. But T-Money, what's your thoughts on it, man?
That is a great segue to the point that I'm about to make. You just said something I didn't know. With the best defense for the first 3 quarters and the worst defense in the last. They are only going to be good when they're up. And that team is not good enough that they're going against to come back and beat them in the fourth quarter. With that being said, you're not going to be able to beat those Chiefs with what you just said, period. Because the thing is, if the Chiefs can somehow stay in the mix those 3 quarters,
right,
you give Patrick Mahomes a fourth quarter if you want to, and it's going to be all she wrote. So Baltimore, great team, great offensive line. Lamar was in his bag with 5 touchdowns. Even saw a Mark Andrews signing with 2 touchdowns.
Man,
I know that's been helping some people in fantasy that's been wishing something. So I get that. And like Dre from the Bay said, with Isaiah Likely as well on the other side, Rashad Bateman is making plays. So it's scary, man. It's scary. And as far as their defense, they can maintain. I like Hamilton in the back with Humphrey. They just shut down their hitters and they can cover. So great win. Unfortunately for the Bucks, though, that's a lot of tough injuries for real.
Yeah, it definitely is. Dre from the Bay, what's your thoughts on the pimping?
It's funny because both Rod Dog and T Money hit something that I was thinking about. Rod Dog talked about you remember, see, I was texting you the first quarter, I'm like, wow, I guess Tampa Bay is for real. You know? And then like by the mid second quarter, I was like, never mind, bro. I was like, blowout. I was a little bit hasty, a tad hasty, because Baker was looking good. I mean, he was matriculating the ball down the field, and it was just like, whoa. But it changed. But then, with the Evans injury, because Mike Evans to me is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my
no doubt.
but T Money mentioned, that whole thing with them, and I about Baltimore, and I agree. I think they're notorious front runners, and when they're rolling, they're unstoppable.
True.
But when they get resistance, they what is their record? What do they do in close games where you got to like pull it out in the fourth quarter? That's what I'd be curious to see with them. They when they're rolling, but just like when they played us New Year's Eve, or like was that when was that last year Monday night?
It was was it Thanksgiving?
Christmas was it Christmas?
Christmas or Thanksgiving? It was one of them
I think it was
holidays.
Christmas Day. I might have
Yeah,
been Christmas
yeah.
Day when we played them, and they got rolling and then they rolled. It's when things get tight, that's what I want to see with them. And see, to T Money's point, when you're playing Kansas City, things are probably going to be tight, and if they can hang around, you get to the fourth quarter. Now I got, as great as Lamar is, I got my money on 15 in the fourth quarter, because he's shown that he can do that. And that's and this the thing with Baltimore. When they get to the postseason and stuff gets tight, they tighten up right with it, and that's going to be the thing with them. And then, we talked about this team earlier. Baltimore looks great, but we can't sleep on those Bills, especially now with Amari Cooper. My question with the Bills is defensively, but they got their division is, can we say garbage right now? And so they're going to win that division. They're going to be able to rest up, so they're going to probably hit the playoffs healthy. But I do like Baltimore. I stand corrected. I think I came on an early podcast and I was questioning whether or not Derrick Henry was going to fit with them. I'll admit right now that I was wrong on that, because he gives them another dimension, because that big boy can, that 80-yard run he did a few weeks ago, that's illegal in like 50 states, man. You shouldn't be that big and that fast. Okay,
once you get 5 yards, he stop moving.
He's gone.
It's a done deal.
You don't get him at the first level.
Much you do is push him out of bounds.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what Tampa did, actually. They pushed him out of bounds.
Because when that dude get that body moving, I mean, you shouldn't be that fast, that big, and it's like he can take it to the house, and so that gives them and it keeps Lamar from having to do more with his legs, but the threat's still there. So yeah, that was a good game though.
The DBs got to make a career decision if they want to try to tackle this big boy or let him go. But you know what? I'm gonna give the offensive coordinator props, because the first 2 games they lost, Kansas City and the Raiders, they wasn't running the ball.
Right.
And once they start running the ball with Derrick Henry, they be on that win streak.
Yeah.
You gotta have them in that offense.
Feed the beast.
Yeah, exactly. So this game surprised me. Texas against Green Bay.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud went 10 to 21, 86 yards passing.
Yeah.
Mixon was balling, 25 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. Schultz had 1 catch, 28 yards. Diggs had 5 catches, 23 yards. Love, 24-33, 220, 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions at the same time. Jacob had 12 carries, 76 yards, but then he had receiving 5 of 16 and a touchdown. So you got Dobbs with 8 receptions, 94 yards. Wicks 3 receptions, 48 yards, a touchdown. Kraft 3 receptions, 33 yards, a touchdown. Love is spreading the ball around to everybody. He don't have a favorite receiver. Their defense is doing what they're supposed to be doing. They went on the road too. They was in Houston.
That was in Houston?
It was in Green Bay. It was in Green Bay.
Green Bay? Okay.
Yeah, because Mixon tried to do the Lambeau leap and got pushed out.
Got you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kick it off with you, Rod. Dog. What's your thoughts on it, man? You think the Texans had a bad game, or Green Bay the
No,
real deal
no.
Holyfield?
You know, that game was field goal done with no seconds left, right? So what I did see, they were able to put a lot of pressure on Stroud, man. They made him throw some, I will say, some um, desperate passes, right? Whenever you get a quarterback to throw that ball up like that, you know, he's not really on target. You're gonna get a lot of incompletions. Um, but the game was close, man. Both of those defenses, they were getting after each other. The running games, both on both sides, was picking up. Nixon had a big game, ran for 100 yards, touchdown. But like I say, Love did something that I didn't think he could do. When they got the ball back, that last drive after Texans took the lead with a minute and some seconds, he drove down the field and they kicked the winning field goal. So, I mean, it was one of those games, man. You could have flipped a coin on. Both of those teams' defenses were solid. Both quarterbacks, and I think Love had a better day than C.J. Stroud did. But they were getting to Stroud too, putting a lot of pressure on him. Young quarterback, when you can get a lot of pressure on a young quarterback like that, he's
They give
bound
it
to,
up.
right. He's gonna throw some desperate passes or incomplete passes, and that's basically what happened. But it was a good game, man. Great game on both sides. It just unfortunately someone had to take a loss, and Texans were the ones.
Gotcha. What's your thoughts on the Dre from the Bay?
Um, Not much more to that. I know this is the future of the league, man. You know, you've got Stroud and Love, two young, solid quarterbacks, and the league is going to be in good hands. I'm not a big advocate for guys getting thrown into the fire. Love had the luxury of not, of being able to sit, for a minute and observe. Stroud's getting thrown right in, so he's going to be, he's going to have games where he's going to look like a second year guy because, he just hasn't played a lot of NFL football. He played, a lot, with how many years did he do at Ohio State? 2 or 3, um, but I still like the Texans, but that game did surprise me. But it wasn't like like he's saying, it was a close game. So I liked what I saw. I think both teams are playoff teams, and so. And I like seeing the future of the league. The two young quarterbacks, man, those two young brothers they're gonna be nice, and they represent the league well too. They're both solid young men, so you like to see that.
We got a question from somebody who's watching this right now.
Man, Swift and money.
Jay Phil say you got Swift and Monty at running backs. Can I flex Devontae or Puka? Which one?
Puka's back.
Yeah, Puka's
active tonight.
He plays tonight. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll put Puka in there because Puka's a beast, man.
Yeah, Puka. That's what I do.
Well,
Who they playing? They playing
they
Minnesota.
got the Vikings tonight.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Minnesota's
game.
been balling though.
I would probably switch out Monty just because I think he's still hampering that. I probably will take a chance on Puka tonight, just because I know they're going to try to score and keep up with the Vikings, and so even though with Blind Flores with that defense, it's worth it.
So you say you'll keep Swift and Puka, or you
Swap out
I swap out if for flex. He said his running backs, or then can he flex? Yeah, I would take Puka over Javonte. I see his question. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I say the same thing too.
Yeah,
and we got another one, and somebody else commenting saying that it's my uncle. Yeah, Pittsburgh in the house. Yeah,
they look good, by the way, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Boys look good.
Had to give Russell some time to get back in rhythm, but he picked it up.
What's your thoughts on that T Money, that Texas Green Bay?
First of all, man, that was my starting quarterback in my big money fantasy league there. So that hurt. That hurt.
Stroud.
Stroud, yeah.
Yeah.
And watching the game too, the defense. LaFleur had blitzes coming from either side, and the tackles just didn't see it coming. They ran a stunt on the inside where they had the linebacker swap and came out through the other gap, and Stroud couldn't do nothing. And they haven't done well on the road either. They played the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings on the road. So those are two tough defenses. I think Stroud is all right. I just think he had to go up against some tough defenses. But I will say this. If you knew your defense has been struggling all game, and this is Houston, my question is, if you're in a scoring position, and like you said, I think it was Dre from the Bay, that fourth quarter had that drive to come back and win the game. With that, Houston had an opportunity to try to score and get 7 on the board, and they went for 3. And I just don't think your defense was doing that well to come back and try to say we're going to stop the Packers from getting downfield and getting 3 points. Even if you did, you're still going to have that chance that Love is going to take that shot to see if somebody might get a PI call, to get you in closer range to get a field goal. So I just think D'Amico Ryans dropped the ball on trying to go for it just to get you 7. Just because if you didn't get 7, now you've pushed back Green Bay to try to go downfield and score 3 points to win the game. I just think they should have just tried to go for it and get 7 on the board.
True that. Hey, well, I'm gonna get to the last one we got on the agenda because I think that was the best game all day to me. The Lions against the Vikings, and it went down to the wire. Also, you got Jared Goff, man. You gotta give him props.
Give him props.
22, 25, 280 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Gibbs, 15 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. St. Brown, 8 receptions, 112 yards, a touchdown.
Man.
Connor went 22 of 27, 259, touchdown, interception. Jones had 14 carries, 93 yards, a touchdown. Jefferson can't stop him, but he had 7 receptions, 81 yards, touchdown. But hands down, Detroit did what it's supposed to do. Rod Dog, do you want to go first or last on this one? I'm gonna ask you first. I'm gonna give you the option.
It don't make a difference, man. We saw the score. I will say about this team, man.
That means he going now.
Hold on. This team, man, I'm gonna tell you. We have a Renaissance coach, right? So you don't know what to expect from Dan Campbell. We started off on the first possession in their territory, a fake punt. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And they punched it in. And then so Minnesota got the ball, kicked the field goal. We're down 10-0. So I'm thinking, we're gonna see what this damn team's made of, right? A lot of teams get down early on. They either pack it up and say, hell, fuck it. We just go ahead and get this game done. But what I saw differently from this team, from previous team, they kept their patience, right? 1.5. I think they might have been leading or down by a point or 2. But he somehow is able to keep this team composed, man. When you're in a hostile environment like they were, a team that's in your division, this is a big game. You either get them at their home or you get them at your home. But to be able to go into Minnesota, which is one of the hottest teams in the league, and come from behind and to get that W, the way they got it, I mean, that says a lot about the character of this team, right? I will say this. Minnesota had an opportunity really to put this game away, but I believe they thought that there's no way they're going to come back and drive down the field and kick a field goal. But actually, that's what happened. Goff, once again, last 3 weeks, Goff has been perfect. No turnovers. Turnovers has always been the thing that kept Detroit out of a lot of games. They turned the ball over so much. But this team is able to come from behind and win, not to create turnovers, BB is playing outstanding. That's Branch back there at the DB. He had another pick. They did lose Hutchinson. So what we had to do was be creative. They blitzed a lot of linebackers, right? So in order to get more pressure, they're bringing in linebackers a lot on the blitz packages. And that's a little different. We're a bend but don't break defense right now. And so we were able to get that W, and I think that right there, might have set the tone for the rest of the season for us. Minnesota is pretty much everybody's looking at the Minnesota like they're undefeated, they're making it look easy. But yeah, we were able to get that W. In 2 weeks we go down to Green Bay, and that's gonna be another
That's gonna be a
tough match. And so it's 1 week at a time. I know we got Tennessee this week, but this NFL, man, these guys are professional. I don't look past no team, even Titans. They could come in Detroit and be like, hey, we're gonna come in here and get this W. This is one of the hottest teams. We're gonna come in their hometown, get a W, and go back and get the ball rolling. But I was proud of the Lions, man, the way that they came back and won that game, and it really gave us a lot of confidence. I think this is the type of game that turns around your program, get you heading in the right direction, and you can build upon, as you continue to strive each week to try to get better.
What up, though? Y'all was up 21-10 at halftime. Y'all scored 21 points in the second quarter. Y'all dominated, man. Come on, man.
No, man, that Minnesota, boy, they got some weapons over there.
They
run, they can throw, they can create turnovers. They're a good team, man. I
defense
thought the defense, they create turnovers, they turn turnovers to points. They're solid, man. They're a solid team.
Yeah. Hey, but look, man, y'all right now, like I said, y'all the front runners in the NFC, man. I can't even sugarcoat it.
Well, we got to
still have Hudson.
Hey, we got to make sure that injury guys don't come around.
Well,
I mean, everybody's starting to see these injuries. We lost our best defensive player, and we got one of our top receivers got to sit out for 2 weeks. So we're gonna we're gonna see what's up for the next 2 weeks.
I got him in 2 fantasy leagues. He's killing. Yeah. I'm like, come on, James.
He's got a lot of maturing to do. This is his second suspension. The guy's still young, making mistakes. But
from Alabama too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. But that organization is kind of an organization that believes in second chances. So if he's able to get back on track after the suspension, I don't know if he's going to start when he come back. The way this program's set up, I think last time he got suspended, he had to work his way back into the rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't come back and start. They make him work his way back in the rotation. But hopefully, he can get past all these suspensions and get back on track, man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, he come back from suspension, he's gonna be in the starting lineup, man. Yeah, y'all can't afford to play without him. It sounds good, but look, that helps St. Brown on the offense. It helps the whole offense. The boy's a beast, man. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Hey,
stretch the field.
Exactly. Great from the Bay. What's your thoughts on it, man? Rod, he wasn't trying to give us too much. Yeah, he was holding back.
I don't have much to even argue, but I will say, you made the statement right now. They're the top team in the NFC, and I was like, I paused and thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I would put them there. The only concern with them is that they got a really tough division. I mean, the Packers and Vikings are both. Now you haven't played the Packers yet, right?
Green Bay,
right?
No. So, but you beat the Vikings and in Minnesota. So I like I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, but I like the Lions. I like their team. Campbell, I was critical of him because I just, that whole I'm gonna go for it because to be honest, I thank him, but he gave us the NFC Championship. Because that whole balls to the wall stuff is fine, but when you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, kick the damn field goal
Take
and
points.
take the points. Because you left the window open for the 49ers, and they's like, okay, if you ain't gonna take this, we're coming. And so he went for it twice, and I thought it was unnecessary. But that's the way he is. So he rolls the dice, and most of the time he's right. So so I like that team. I think that they are right now the top the team to beat in the NFC. With due respect to Minnesota, but they just beat Minnesota, so now I put them up there. And so I don't see anybody else really in the NFC that's looking as good as Detroit. All around. We'll see. If the Hutchinson injury comes back, but I have a feeling, they may make a move. There's rumors about Max Crosby and stuff like that. If they pull somebody out, maybe they even try to make a play for Myles Garrett. Like I said, I'm calling Cleveland every day, because that's a team that needs to get shaken up. So, but yeah, I hats off to the Lions. Right now they're looking proper, but we'll see. I think we play y'all at the end of the season. Maybe we're healthy and ready to do something, but we'll see.
I usually don't talk outside my family business, but y'all had us whooped last year.
Yeah.
The game was over. Y'all had the game won.
Bro, I was ready. I was ready to turn the channel.
Yes, the game was over.
Man, I was at a party. We was watching the game at halftime. Oh, I was talking much shit. Next thing you know, 5 consecutive touchdowns. Motherfuckers about to throw me out of the house. Yeah, man. That was a tough one though, because the thing about sports, you don't know when the next time you're gonna get to that championship, to get that one game to get to the Super Bowl. It's dudes, man, all their whole career, whether it's NBA, Major League Baseball, or football, they've gotten to the championship or either the semis one time, never got back.
Nope.
Because that window opportunity is so small in sports. You got free agency, you got injuries. I mean, it's just guys go sometimes chasing the money. You can't always keep guys together. And so, man, we're hoping
you look at
that we
Dan
can get
Marino.
back to that NFC game again, maybe with the 49ers. And y'all have to come to Detroit this time, because y'all record doesn't seem like y'all going to get that home field advantage.
It's funny you say that window opportunity, because it's been 30 years since the Cowboys been to a Super Bowl, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up here with T Money. What's his thoughts on that game? What's up?
Listen, man, I'm gonna make this real short and sweet. This is all about Detroit, man. I mean, Jared Goff was efficient. He's been efficient these past few games. The receiving core with St. Brown, even though you lose Williams for 2 weeks, you still got Tim Patrick's going to slide right in. He's been doing great. And then you can put Khalif Raymond in the slot. And then this is also probably wake up Laporta to get some more targets as well, because he's been kind of quiet, but staying in the background, staying healthy. So the offensive line is great. Your defense is good. Branch, shout out Roll Tide. I mean, you got him moving all across on the side. He's coming up on the blitz. He's dropping back in coverage. He's reading zone and then go straight to man. I mean, the dude is working. But I will say this real quick. It's crazy how a lot of people talk when the draft came around. Jahmyr Gibbs, why is they drafting him so high? He can go lower down in the first round or maybe in the second. It's paying off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Simple as that. It is paying off, because even when Montgomery went down for that quick second, he was like, okay, if something happens, still got Gibbs to lean on. So, I mean, just y'all look good, man. And I have not been so excited to watch Thanksgiving of a Detroit Lions game in a long time. And seriously, because that's what it was made for. You like,
Oh yeah.
we about to watch these Lions. Let's go ahead
Right.
and eat. We ain't missing nothing. But
Right.
Exactly.
now you ready to let's eat.
Now
Let's
you
eat.
got to take
Let's
your
eat when
plate and
Dallas
get in
come
front of
on.
the TV.
Oh man, was it that bad, man? I was at some
Yeah,
of those
It-
games.
it- it-
yeah, man. For
except the
Hey,
Barry
I used to
Sanders
want my
years.
money
It was
back
just
too,
Barry, it
man.
was just Barry Sanders. Yeah.
Hey, damn tickets high as hell. Take the whole family down there and take a L.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Except the
hey,
Barry
but
Sanders years, it wasn't nothing to watch.
Nah.
but
Oh
check
It
it.
yeah.
The next couple games for Detroit, you got
Tennessee.
Tennessee. You go to Green Bay. You go to
Ooh.
Houston. You got Jacksonville. You go to the Colts. You got Chicago, Green Bay, Buffalo, Chicago, at the 49ers, and then you end the season with the Vikings.
Man,
That's a
them
rough
last
schedule, man.
5-6 games, yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
really show who the Lions are, man. When they know
Yeah.
they got to get these W's. So,
Man.
but you look good, man. Now straight up,
Yep.
you do.
Yep.
You do.
Yep.
So let me ask y'all this Monday night game, and we're gonna close it up. Who y'all got? The Vikings, Rams. You got the Vikings 5-1, Rams 2-4. You got Cooper Kupp coming back tonight. You got Puka coming back tonight, but you got the Vikings trying to bounce back from their loss from Detroit.
This
And
is
it's
where?
it's
It's
in
in
LA.
LA.
Yeah. And so what's it? SoFi Stadium they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go real quick. I mean, I'll take the Vikings to win the game. I would not be surprised if Matt Stafford is happy to have Cooper and Puka back. But Flores, no, Matt Stafford can't run, so he's going to be bringing heat all night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it should be a big Kyron Williams show as far as running the ball. But if they load it up and stop that, the Rams won't get past 17 points tonight. So I'll take the Vikings in the points.
Look, Stafford is a smart quarterback.
Oh,
I've
he is.
seen it against us. He's very smart. He get rid if you're gonna keep blitzing him, he's gonna get rid of the ball within the first 2 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, now he got Puka and cutback. Look, he's gonna pick them apart. I think he's gonna go down to the wire, man. It's gonna come down to a field goal. I got it going down. Man, I'm gonna put a 19-16. If it's close, 19-16, I might get the Rams to upset, man. I'm gonna get the Rams to upset.
Okay.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the Drake from the Bay?
I hear you. I got it. Thursday night games are notoriously
Yeah.
shaky because because teams are they're on basically 3 days rest, and so they generally aren't really good games because everybody's not they haven't out their usual rest. Minnesota is coming off a tough loss. They're going to want to get back on the wagon, but Stafford, just like you said, he can neutralize that blitz, and you've got 2 possession receivers that are now back, and Puka is one of those. He can, he's like a Debo. He can take a 5-yard and break 3 tackles, and next thing you know, turn it into something big. So I do see it as a low scoring game. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams won it,
Right.
but I am going to I'm going to lean towards Minnesota 20-17. I think it's going to be relatively low scoring, and it's going to be closer than what we think. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right,
Yeah.
dog.
Looking at the spread, 2.5. I think Minnesota's gonna cover that spread.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with Dre. This is gonna be a low scoring game, but I can see Minnesota at least a field goal.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you why I said the Rams. Cooper Kupp got a chip on his shoulder because he's on the trading blocks. He's been on the talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he gonna come out of here and try to show out, regardless if he's gonna get traded or not. He's trying to up his stock. And you got Calvin really still on the trading blocks. And your boy from Cincinnati, what's his name?
Higgins.
Higgins. if we can get, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't even want to put it.
Man,
out.
don't
hype yourself up.
don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
yeah.
Because I'd take Ridley or Higgins. Higgins probably more so than Ridley, because Ridley has a habit of whining too much
and get missing too.
Yeah, but anyway, we singing 49er wish list stuff.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Christmas early Christmas.
Christmas early.
And I know the Rams ain't gonna trade Cooper Kupp to us. They won't be that.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish, but I don't
Yeah.
see that happen. They're not gonna help us out.
Yeah. But fellas, man, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. We got a good
Yes,
night.
sir.
Chopped it up.
All right.
Hopefully, if them 49ers lose to the Cowboys, somebody check on me, man, because I might be on the Southwest flight going to San Francisco to talk to Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle, you gonna talk to Kyle?
I'm getting a one-way ticket. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna have to be T Money or Rod Dog, because if we lose to the Cowboys, I ain't gonna be able to check on you, because I'll probably be in intensive care.
Well, listen,
Come on, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all now. I will not be attending next Thursday because I know what the topic is gonna be about, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
If y'all win, you're gonna be.
If y'all win, you gonna.
But if
be
y'all MIA, what can we do about it? I mean, y'all in San Francisco. I don't know how that Wi-Fi works out there.
Hey, fellas, but I appreciate the love, man.
All right, brothers.
Man.
All right, fellas. All right, fellas.
All right.
Enjoy the game. Have a good weekend. We'll chop it up.
All right, brothers. Much
All right,
love.
fellas.
Peace out. All
All
right.
right. Peace.